As children, we learn the true meaning of being a hero. Being a hero requires great sacrifice for others, not just ourselves. We learn about the heroes of Jamaica's past and how much of themselves and their lives they had to give in building a nation we should be proud to call home. They believed in a Jamaica that was more than just a country, more than just an island, more than land surrounded by water. They believed in a dream of a free nation of people, a nation built on the foundation of their sacrifices, a nation of many people working as one, a nation that would continue to produce legends and nation builders that serve towards that vision. As children, we were also taught the national pledge, a solemn promise, an undertaking. I would like to believe Sir Hugh Sherlock, while writing this pledge, understood the vision and dreams of our heroes. It's clear being a hero is too much to ever ask any one citizen. Luckily, the pledge does not require heroics of any of us. It merely asks that we honor our heroes by striving to advance our nation and ultimately inspire the world, like they and many Jamaicans have done. It's important we remember those words. These words. Before God and all mankind, I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart, the wisdom and courage of my mind, the strength and vigor of my body in service of my fellow citizens. I promise to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace, to work diligently and creatively, to think generously and honestly, so that Jamaica may, under God, increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, and play her part in advancing the welfare of the whole human race. If you are like me, a Jamaican born and raised on this land, maybe you will remember saying those words, singing that song in a classroom or some general assembly. If so, like me, you made a pledge. Somehow it seems like many of us have forgotten that. The crime and violence, the indiscipline and short-sightedness, the corruption, the lack of respect for our beautiful lands we are blessed with, and the waters that surround and nurtures us. We have to do better. Let us honor our heroes so that they would not have sacrificed so much in vain. I hope this video can make a difference to even one soul. If so, it would all be worth it. If you feel the way I do, share it. May my voice become yours. Thanks for watching.
Good night, everyone. Wherever you're listening, watching from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean, welcome to an edition of the Mek Wi Talk program. We're live on Cayman Mall Road TV in the Cayman Islands. So I want to say good night to from Northside, Bordentown, East End to West Bay, Georgetown, Grand Cayman. Good night. Good evening, Jamaica and the diaspora. Welcome to Mek Wi Talk. Tonight, our hearts are heavy. A 4-year-old was gunned down by the security forces in our country. The nation is wounded. Jamaicans are asking painful but necessary questions. How did this happen? Who is accountable? And how do we stop this from happening again? Joining me this evening is opposition spokesperson on national security and member of parliament, Mr. Fitz Jackson, the Honorable Fitz Jackson. Member Jackson, welcome to the program, sir.
Good evening, Sir Jeffrey. Good evening to your listeners. I know that you're not only covering the continental United States, but also Cayman. And of course, I know you have a strong viewership and listenership here in Jamaica. So let me use this opportunity to say good evening to all the listeners in all those places. And I wish for everyone, first and foremost, good health, happiness, peace, and a more secure space that we reside in here in Jamaica and elsewhere where our people reside. And by people, I mean our human people, the human family.
Indeed, indeed. Member Jackson, our nation, first and all, before we go any further, I don't know if you're aware of a incident that happened today where 3 more Jamaicans were gunned down.
No, regrettably, I was actually out and engaged for most of today.
Well, I want to show you this. I want to show you this video here.
Sure.
In all that is going on, Member Jackson, before we ask any questions, I want to play a video of you speaking to the media pertaining to the 4-year-old that was gunned down
St. James.
In St. James. This one here, they're saying is gunmen. Now, I'm working my sources to see if it's really gunmen or what. But before we do anything else, I want you to listen to this video of you speaking to the media.
Opposition spokesperson on National Security Fitz Jackson is calling for an independent and transparent investigation into an incident in which a 5-year-old died after being shot during an alleged shootout between members of the security forces and gunmen in Granville, St. James on New Year's Day. In a statement today, Mr. Jackson described the killing of the little boy, Romain Bowman, as deeply troubling. The boy's 68-year-old grandmother was also wounded in the incident. The circumstances surrounding the operation, which occurred in the Browns Lane area of the community, have raised questions and prompted protests from residents. The police reported that 2 men were fatally shot and a high-powered rifle was seized during the operation. Mr. Jackson said that while the opposition acknowledges the difficult and often dangerous conditions under which law enforcement operates, the death of a child demands careful scrutiny and a clear accounting of what transpired.
No parent should ever have to bury a child, and no community should wake up to this kind of anguish. While we recognize the difficult and dangerous work carried out by our security forces, especially during periods when illegal gun salutes are common, the loss of life cannot be ignored or merely explained away. Every Jamaican deserves to feel safe and protected by those sworn to serve us. That is why I'm calling for an immediate, independent, and transparent investigation by INDECOM and all relevant oversight bodies. Accountability is essential.
He added that the parliamentary opposition wants to see a review of current engagement protocols and meaningful dialogue with community leaders to help prevent similar tragedies.
Member Jackson. Mr. Jackson, based on what has been reported so far, what immediate steps should be taken? An independent investigation into the killing of this child.
Yeah. Well, as I've said in that release issued a few days ago after the incident, the starting point is to get as much of the facts pertaining to what occurred, the circumstances, etc. That's the starting point. As you know, one such independent body is INDECOM, which operates separate from the JCF. And there are other investigative bodies. The JCF also has its own internal investigative body. But I believe for greater transparency, it has to be independent of the JCF itself. So that's the starting point. It's pretty early, I will admit, since the incident between then and now. And I am waiting and looking forward, not indefinitely. I do hope to be meeting with the commissioner in short order this month. We have had initial discussions towards that in the latter part of last month. And these are some of the issues that I will be raising, which are not just concerns of the opposition, but also concern of many Jamaicans. Sir Jeffrey, if I may, you see, it's a very sensitive issue, the killings by police. It is sensitive for these reasons. We have had very high rates of murder and shootings in Jamaica over an extended period of time. And that has traumatized a broad and deep cross-section of the Jamaican society, who is eager and anxious for that to come to an end. That's one. Two, because people are so traumatized, so fearful from crime, a good amount of the Jamaican society, once they hear a criminal is killed by the police, I know that I said, and should rather preface to say an alleged criminal is killed by the police, there is an immediate presumption of guilt. And from that position of presumption of guilt, then the killing becomes justified in many persons' mind. And I'm not saying this in an abstract way because I've heard it myself from persons, right? They are presumed to be guilty, and so the death is in order. And that is compounded by the pronouncements of the JCF and of the government that anybody that attacks the security forces, they must expect to be met with equal force, which might result in their death.
But
Now,
member
let me
Jackson,
make it.
Sorry, go ahead.
They have said that, but let me make it abundantly clear. Every police officer, every law enforcement officer, in fact, every citizen in Jamaica, legal, owners of firearm or otherwise armed, if your life is threatened, you have a right and a duty to protect your life. And if in the process of protecting your life, you take the other person's life, then that's, for me, is in order. The problem, Sir Jeffrey, is the claim that can't be independently substantiated, that these alleged criminals do as is reported. So the public is left with just to believe what the police says. And many of these circumstances, we hear counter claim as to what takes place. So both of them can't be correct.
But you know something, member Jackson, and I keep on asking this question. If there is an alleged shootout between Woodlands and law enforcement personnel, the security forces, how is it that the Jamaican people over the years cannot see a riddled bullet car? The car is riddled with bullet, the JCF car. But yet the confrontation shooting, I'm pretty much sure if there's a shootout, police not locked behind their vehicle. And I'm pretty much sure you're gonna see bullets in the service vehicle. The media is yet to show the Jamaican people if there's really a shootout. Now with this baby that is dead shot by the security forces. Until now, the people of this country cannot see if that baby had a gun in his hand, or did the police show the occupants of the houses a warrant to come and search the house?
Yes.
What is going on, member Jackson?
Well, that's what I want to find out too, Sir Jeffrey. And I don't want to make presumptions.
Yes.
I don't want to speculate. I'm really careful and deliberate not to. All right? But let me do say, it is incumbent, in fact, it's imperative, it's urgent that the JCF conducts its function in a way that can earn and preserve the trust of the communities that they police. Because no security force anywhere in the world can have sustained reduction of crime without you have the community with you. It's imperative for that to happen. And I say it all the time. The opposition say it all the time. Whatever the police do, it must be able to withstand scrutiny. And that's why I'm anxious for the investigation, right? As I said earlier on, as a starting point.
And why is it that the hierarchy of the Jamaica Defense Force refuse, and maybe they have told them to do it, I don't know, but to me, they have refused to allow the JCF members to wear body cams? What is going on? Are we running a banana republic?
Well, that is one part of it. Another part of it, are we running a police state?
That's another thing again.
Which probably is worse than a banana republic. Because a police state, you have the police operate with impunity. That's one of the vulnerabilities that we have. And again, I must make the point. No government, the opposition, as some would want to make it appear, particularly in the government and their operatives, that we are against the security forces. Look, it is just so illogical and nonsensical. We as a parliamentary opposition seek to acquire state power and govern.
Yes.
That's our mission, to seek to implement the policies and programs which we believe, which we are convinced are in the better interest of the Jamaican people. We cannot do it without a security force.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot do it without a JCF. We can't do it without a JCF that is effective, a JCF that is balanced,
Indeed.
a JDF that earns and preserves the respect of the people in the communities. Because you see, security is not an abstract notion. It's about making the lives of the people who live right across the length and breadth of Jamaica feel comfortable and safe and secure in the spaces where they live, where they worship, where they work, and where they recreate. So we have an interest in a JCF. We, the PNP opposition, we have an interest in that. So I don't want anybody, well, I can't say I don't want to, because there are persons who are hell-bent and misrepresenting the facts, representing our position to satisfy their own ends. But I just want to make that abundantly clear. The People's National Party opposition is for a professional, well-trained, well-resourced security apparatus that can serve Jamaica well.
You know something, Member Jackson? For far too long, the Jamaican people have suffered under the hands of the... I'm having an echo, Member Jackson, coming in from you. Hold on a minute. Let me do something here. Just a minute. Don't move.
I wonder if it is my machine.
Possibility. I'll figure out something. Yes. The people of Jamaica, for far too long, have seen where the security forces kick off the door because they live below Crossroad. And they dare not go up to the people of the effluence of society in Norbrook and Cherry Garden and kick off their door or kick the door in and then turn the taxpayers' gun onto the people inside there. They dare not do it. How is it that the poorer class of Jamaicans for years have been suffering because of that? What can be done to alleviate all those things, Member Jackson?
It calls for a more professional conduct in our police. To the extent that what you just described happens, Sir Jeffrey, it is no longer an opinion. It's what the facts are. And we just have to face the facts as they are and to make it otherwise. But I want to delve a little bit in that point, why that is a warped approach that is not sustainable for the Jamaican society. The people from below Crossroads and similar communities across Jamaica,
yes,
they work for and work with the people from the other communities where these things don't take place.
You think that way, Member Jackson? Because you believe that way because people who lives in the effluence of society in Norbrook, you know, they don't go downtown Kingston, you know. They send the helpers to go downtown Kingston.
Yeah, they send the helpers, but the helpers come back to their house. But the helpers invariably come from down there and elsewhere and come back to their houses. And the point I'm making, when you have a society of persons or a significant number of persons who live in fear of the society, that's the mentality they bring to their place of work and worship and recreation. You see the point, Jeffrey, I'm trying to make?
Yes.
We live in a society where we have to interact. And if people get up and wake up out of anger and anguish, they're going to take that to the workplace. And look, man, as history has taught us, once it gets to an intolerable level by people, you and I can't control them. You and I can't control how they're going to respond. are neither than the JCF or the JDF. That's a sociological fact.
Yes.
That's an historical fact. And that's the worst thing you want to have. It's anarchy.
But Member Jackson, as a member of parliament and opposition spokesperson and national security for a beloved island, Jamaica, you don't believe that the Jamaican people have reached a tipping point, sir?
Obviously not. Obviously not.
But you know,
and the danger is that the more it boil and get deeper, when it implode or explode, and that's the point I was trying to make, it's more difficult to contain, much more control.
you know, a good friend of mine, and I think you know him too, the brother of former finance minister Hugh Small, Jerry Small, Bongo Jerry Small.
Yes, I
said it on this program that one day the dam is gonna bust, and when the dam busts, God help this country.
Is that any different from what I just said?
No.
I don't think that is something in his head or is in mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's an historical fact.
Yes.
It's a sociological fact.
Do you remember, Jackson? Have any idea? Before I do anything further, let us play this video here for you. I'm pretty much sure you have seen it. For those who are just joining us, welcome to the Mek Wi Talk program. We're coming to you live from the studios of the Mek Wi Talk program. I'm speaking to opposition spokesperson, member of parliament, Mr. Fitz Jackson, opposition spokesperson and national security. A 4-year-old was brutally murdered in his sleep in Granville in St. James. It is alleged that the security forces have a play in it. We're still investigating. We don't know if members of the hierarchy of the Jamaican government have reached out to the family to speak to them. But Member Jackson, I want you to listen to this.
If we don't get justice, we are not going to stop blocking the road until we get a quick response. We need to talk to Ms. R.S. John. We need the MP, Ms. Malahoo, and we need Andrew Holiness. We're not going to stop blocking the road until we see those. And we need ballistic testing done quick and fast. Okay.
How long must the people of this country continue facing... Well, by the way, the Prime Minister was the one who said, is either you face the judge or face a maker. Maybe I should phrase the question this way. Do you believe, in your opinion, Member Jackson, that the security forces have become judge, jury, and executioner?
Well, put it this way, Sir Jeffrey. You have over 60% increase in police killing over the past year. That is substantial. The amount of persons being killed by the security forces is almost being made equal to the ones that are killed by criminals. That's what is fast approaching. Now, not just that data, just that fact must be alarming to anybody and everybody. And I don't want to prejudge, but I'm looking at those facts. I'm looking at that data, which is not my data. Those are the JCF data. If those don't jump out at any normal person, something is wrong. And what is the explanation for that? Is it that criminals or alleged criminals have just gone insane at a greater proportion to take on the security forces? They have gone more insane than they normally do 1, 2, 3 years ago. And what is it? And where is the evidence to support it? Now, Jeffrey, give me a second here.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
The reason why this issue is of paramount importance is that, I said at the very outset, there's a mindset prevailing in Jamaica that once they're alleged criminal, it is so, they are guilty. So our jurisprudence that says every man is innocent until proven guilty, right, has gone through the window. I have seen it happen in Jamaica over the years in many different areas of national life. It is okay when it's them. When it's the below crossroads. You know what we mean when we talk about the below crossroads.
Yes,
the below crossroads exists in many other communities.
Yes, the people who can't live in the effluence of society, the people of the Vumba and the Vumba.
Once it is them, it is okay. Until the similar thing begin to occur for somebody related to them or personally known to them.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, it comes home. And that's only time that it becomes a crisis. And you know, Jeffrey,
mm-hmm.
that is so because we have become more and more a selfish people.
Yes, society, yes.
We only care about ourselves.
True.
So when something is affecting somebody else, there is no urgency because it's not me, it's not my friend, it's not my relative, it's not my neighbor. It's them.
Mm-hmm.
And when that them become us, is when it needs attention. For me, for the People's National Party, and I believe for most well-thinking Jamaica, we want to avoid getting to that point. An ounce of prevention is always better than a pound of cure. And that's the reason why we must get it right now. And that's why I said in the release, we have to have communities having trust and confidence. You know, one of the things I've learned and come to appreciate in my own political sojourn, when the people are faced with the naked, brutal fact, as unpleasant as it might be, they will accept it.
Mm-hmm.
When it is the fact or the truth, they will accept it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't try bull them. My own political, may I say, survival existence is premised on the approach that I have taken. I am not smarter than John Public. Not smarter than them that I can try to outsmart them. I presume that they are more smarter than I am. So whatever I do, it can withstand their wiser or more educated scrutiny. Regrettably, some of us believe that we're so smart and so slick that we can throw anything at anybody and everything. And it's okay until we get the rude awakening. I would just caution and just advise all of us that hold public office in the political arena, in the public institutions, and even in the private institutions. Let us come honestly, factually, forthrightly, as we can in the conduct of matters that affects the public.
As an opposition member of parliament, opposition spokesperson on national security, is the opposition willing to call for the removal of the persons who were involved in this heinous shooting in St. James from frontline duty?
But that goes without saying, Sir Jeffrey. The persons responsible, and I said that in my release, must be held accountable. If that doesn't happen, then we have a lawless society.
But
where members can do anything with impunity. That is unacceptable.
But Member Jackson,
that's a no-brainer.
But for too long, Member Jackson, the security forces has get away with so many things in this country. when it comes on to the poorer class of Jamaicans. Very, very, very well, not often you hear about the people who live below crossroad getting the justice when their daughter or their son is being gunned down heinously. Because when you look on this crime here, I was looking for the video where the mother was crying for help for her 4-year-old baby. They're saying that she came out. She came out and she said, my baby got shot. She said that the soldier, the member of the Jamaica Defense Force, turned to her and tell her to go whatever with her mother and push her back into the house. Is this the way we have our security forces treating our people? Go ahead.
I've heard of similar allegations in the past too. Right? I've heard of a number of them. If I'm honest, I've heard them. And let me say immediately, that is totally unacceptable. You see, we have some very, very honorable, honest, and professional members in the police force.
Indeed.
I don't believe for one moment that much of what we hear of, as you describe, constitute the majority or any significant number in the JCF. No. I don't believe so. Mm-hmm. But you have some of that disposition. No doubt in my mind that there are some who are of that disposition, like in many other organizations, even in the political directorate. Mm-hmm. You'll have persons of unsavory disposition, to put it mildly. But I don't want to throw the baby with the bathwater.
Yes.
We have to find a way to sieve out the dirty water and extract it from the bath so that we all can exist in a society that is not tainted and affected by that dirty water. The same thing has to happen with the JCF. Yes. I know from my own interaction with the JCF over the years that there are members of the JCF whose engagements are not renewed because of incidences where they don't have enough evidence to make charges, but it's sufficient for them to don't have confidence to renew their enrollment in the JCF. Mm-hmm. I know some of that take place. I can't quote you any numbers, but by my own interaction with the JCF over the years, I'm aware of that process. And the truth is, usually those are not done with any fanfare and announcements. Mm-hmm. They are quietly done. And I said, when I've engaged in the I Command, they have shared some of this information with me. Mm-hmm.
Right? Member Jackson, when you look on the situation here with this young lady, in any other modern democracy, her son is being slayed by the security forces. One would have think that somebody would have gone down there to give her some support and to help her to get therapy. Do you have an idea that have been done for her, sir? Hold on for me, hold on.
I began to make some inquiry about recently. I don't know if it happened. Mm-hmm. The JCF usually provide that for their members who are affected, right? But, it's an interesting situation. And that's why the investigations are important. Because, let's be brutally frank, Sir Jeffrey.
Yeah.
If there is any attempt to cover up, not saying there is,
yes,
we have to look at all scenarios, right, as you approach the matter. If there is any disposition for any cover-up, no action is going to take that might want to suggest or imply culpability.
Mm-hmm.
And so support like that you mentioned, I would be expected to come from outside of the JCF and for other social support entity like the Ministry of Health that also have responsibility for mental health of our persons, right? And provide social support. So I'm not surprised. That's why I'm very much interested in investigations and where it will lead us. And of course, I give the assurance that we're not going to make it lie indefinitely, right? Whereas I've said it in the release, we're going to be seeking answers. But I don't want to be premature in rushing to any judgment ahead of that.
You know, I sit here, Member Jackson, and I am asking myself the question, when will this stop in our country, Jamaica? When will the people who live below Crossroad get the other end of the stick? Get the other end of the stick. And those who live in the effluence of society are quiet because it is not at their doorstep. Is the Jamaican people and those who are put in charge of us have no sympathy for us, Mr. Member Jackson?
Well, I will hope not. I will hope not. Because if that should be the case, Sir Jeffrey, we would not be a society where the majority of us could be proud of. We would not be a society where we lack the care for others. And let me say this. You have heard some reports, and over the years, but very recent one too, sometime late last year, that Jamaica is ranked as one of the foremost countries in the world where people seek to help one another. If you have a problem, they will come to your assistance. If what you would represent should be the case, that reputation comes under threat.
Yes.
So it's not just about being insensitive in an abstract way, but really preserving who we are as a people. So no, I will hope that we haven't gotten to that and we don't get there. And come back to what I said earlier on, that's the reason why we have to take the steps necessary now to build a society where our security forces relate to the communities in a more cooperative way. Because I will tell you, and senior members of the JCF, particularly in St. James, too, in the past, who work the ground, make it clear to me that the majority of people in these communities want a safe and peaceful community. They're not just communities of criminal-minded people, or criminal-loving people, or criminal conduct people. They want a peaceful and secure space in their own communities too. And that's why the police, in doing its work to protect them and to achieve that, have to do it in that kind of way. When I said in the statement about being professional, it is making the approach that can achieve that end.
Member Jackson, is the opposition pushing hard to the government of this country that the security forces must and should wear body-worn cams? Because hold on, Member Jackson, in any other jurisdiction, they're wearing it. So why is that we refuse to wear it in this country?
Well, I was in a haste to interrupt you a while ago.
Yes.
Because in the last sitting of Parliament in December,
yes,
when we had the renewal of the ZOZOs, I made that very point in my comments in the debate. on the motion for the renewal. And the Prime Minister, who led on the subject in the absence of the Minister of National Security, he attempted to explain away why they are not wearing it. And, you know, I made a comment earlier on, Sir Jeffrey, when I said that it's an indictment on us in public offices and even leading private offices that serve the public. When we approach these matters in a way that we are so slick and so smart, right? When the Prime Minister could have gone at the benefit of the final say in the debate, because as you know, motions are dealt with. The Prime Minister or Minister opens, you make your comment, he closes,
right?
So you can't rebut anything he makes in the closing, because the debate finishes then. But he went on to say, in response to my remarks about the body-worn camera, why they have to do that, they have to have storage capacity, they have to do that. We know that.
But remember, Jackson, they have been saying it for years about
Exactly, Sir Jeffrey. We know that. And the technology required is not one that you have to create. So they take all of us to be a bunch of dummies.
A bunch of
when they stand on their feet and make these ludicrous statements and only satisfy themselves that they have answered, they have responded, but they have not really answered the question, because the bottom line, why it's not answered, is that between then and now, how many body-worn cameras are in effect? After all that is being said, no. The fact is that it's not happening. It's like telling that, oh, where production is well and food is produced and people are dying of hunger. If you tell me spend millions of dollars in purchasing food and people are still dying from hunger, you don't deal with the problem. We never ask you to solve the problem of spending money. Solve the problem of having people getting food. That's the end result. That's what your action is ultimately measured on. Not the plausible or plausible sounding explanations that you give. And that's what this government has been engaged in. Patting themselves or make a good argument. It sounds good. And you have members behind them who beat the desk and cheer. And they feel that they have been successful. But when that circus is over by them, the reality prevails. The reality that not just I know, but the rest of the country knows. In much the same way that you can pose it to me, is because you are seeing it. And you are seeing it like many other Jamaicans. So yes, the question you asked about, is the opposition pushing? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And we will not relent. I, as spokesperson on behalf of the opposition, will not resile from raising that question.
Yes.
Regardless of what the Prime Minister or the Minister of National Security or whichever member of the government may say, I will continue, even if I'm going to be the lone voice, until the change occurs. Until the change. But we have the same situation. We talk about banking fees and ATM machines and the malfunctioning. The problem prevails unsolved, notwithstanding all the explanations that the government might proffer and have been proffering over the years. The problem prevails.
You know,
just as it is with the body-worn cameras. But the final judge is not me.
It's the Jamaican people.
Final judge is not the People's National Party. Final judge is the people of Jamaica. The final judge is the reality that they live day in, day out. So yes, you can say what you want to say about us, but the people are there, and their reality is what matters. Our position and what we advocate for is about what affects the people. Because the truth is, that's our purpose of being as a parliamentary opposition. That's our purpose of being as a political party. And we are not going to be resilient from it. Anytime that happens, then we cease to justify our being. We cease to justify our existence. But that is our purpose. And that's why we shall not resign.
You know, Member Jackson, I often say this, the government take the Jamaican people for a bunch of kunumunu. And why I say that is because I don't think maybe the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security don't realize that the people of this country know about technology. And for him to be telling the Jamaican people, that they have to get storage capacity. Many Jamaicans can take up their phone and Google or call somebody who knows somebody within the hierarchy of the New York Police Department and ask them how do they do their stuff. And they may not give them the entire version of how they do it, but if they give them something. So when the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security is taking us for a bunch of fools, they're fooling themselves, not we.
Not to say add anything more to that, except I'll add one thing. My own experience and knowledge that most, if not all of those jurisdictions are willing to share with ours how those things can be done.
You don't have to answer this question when I say, you don't have to answer this, Member Jackson. Is it that the Minister of National Security and the Prime Minister of this country is trying to hide things from the Jamaican people while they refuse to give members of the JCF body-worn cameras and come in and tell us a bunch of bloody nonsense? You don't have to answer that, Member Jackson. You don't have to answer that. I'm just throwing out something there. And it's full time we, the people of this country, who are paying them to let them know that we are no fools. We are no fools.
But even if they were not being paid, once you assume the office and the responsibility, it's your duty.
Yes.
It's always your duty. Once you occupy the position of responsibility, if you're paid little or nothing or a lot, it's a duty you have. It's a duty we have.
And for us now tonight again, 2026, for us tonight to be having a discussion again, Member Jackson, about the security forces kicking off the Jamaican people door. In any other modern democracy, you show a paper, say, listen to me, we have a warrant to search your property. Why they can't do that to the people who live below Crossroad or the people who lives in the country areas of this country? The people who live at the Vumvavon society in Norbrook and Cherry Garden, they hardly vote, It's we who live below Crossroad. We're the one who get up every day, jump up on van back, shower labor rights, shower comrades and all kind of nonsense. We're the one who's going to vote. So why is it that the security forces and the government of this country treat us as if we come from River and Dump?
I just said, your statement speaks for itself.
It needs to stop, Member Jackson. And I think what we need to do, until the government or those who are in parliament who go to set laws for the people of this country, figure out a way that if a member of the security forces is caught doing some willy-nilly thing with taxpayers' gun and taxpayers' bullet, the full force of the law must come down on them.
Nothing less than that ought to prevail. Nothing less than that. Because as I said earlier on, when that happens, yes, we become a banana republic. And yes, we become a police state. And in either situation or both, nobody is safe. Today for you, tomorrow for me.
So
or
is
today
it
for me, tomorrow for you.
so is it that the people of Jamaica is paying the security forces to shoot them down like blackbirds in this country?
Well, to the extent that if that happens, that is exactly what would be the case.
A 4-year-old is dead tonight, member Jackson.
Yes, and we don't know the fullness of the circumstances. That is what is painful.
I say we're in. Let's drift away from this for a little bit. The little more time we have, leave it, because I know you stay with us for an hour or more than that.
No, I have to go within the next 5 minutes. I don't have
Oh
another-
Lord, member Jackson, man.
But I can come again, Sir Jeffrey. I can come again.
Okay, but before you go, though, member Jackson.
And by the way, don't appear to be pleading as if it is not the case that I make myself available.
I know you. No, I know you have, man. I know you.
I couldn't let you pass without showing that reminder.
You have, man. I know you're always willing to come on the Mek Wi Talk program. Member Jackson, let's drift away a little bit from the security situation here in Jamaica. You being the Minister of National Security. I mean, maybe I shouldn't even touch that topic because I promised my wife I won't touch that topic. What is your take on what happened in Venezuela?
No, you said my being the Minister of National Security. I am not the Minister of
Well, the opposition spokesperson of National Security.
I am the spokesperson.
Yes.
Why this is important? I don't want you to hold me and the People's National Party responsible for failures of incumbency.
Yes.
But before I go to your question, I'm not dodging it. What I find interesting, Sir Jeffrey, within a day after the announcement was made about my appointment as spokesperson for national security, a number of persons, including a number in the media,
yes,
began to engage me about what I'm going to do about the crime. What am I going 2 months after an election? And as someone said to me, in my curiosity,
yes,
as to why people were seemingly excited, is if there is bad remorse about what they got on September 3rd or subsequent to September 3rd.
yes.
So your Freudian slip,
yes,
is not unique or unusual. But to come back to the question of Venezuela you asked, my own position is that, and we have always, the People's National Party have always have a very unswerving position about external involvement in the internal affairs of other countries. President Maduro has been the recognized leader of the country. And if there are questions about the legitimacy, it is not for any unilateral action to seek to address. We belong into a global space of many countries, and there are forums to deal with those things. I see it as personally, without reservation, it's regrettable and unfortunate. And what it says is that no leader of any country that not of comparable military might is safe. And I say that against the background of what has happened in Iraq, what has happened in Libya, just to name a few, and where the subsequent facts have confirmed that the basis of those actions are not as the claims were made. And what is interesting is what is common to all those two countries and Venezuela. What is common to them as countries.
Yes.
We do have many governments, well, I say quite a few countries across the world where the legitimacy of their authority is in question, but we are not seeing similar action being taken against them. So there's an inconsistency that we have to answer and respond to. And again, because those are not just ideas or notions of mine, those are just facts.
Yes.
They are just facts. And we can't have selective embrace of the facts.
Mm-hmm. Member Jackson, but before I make you go, let me ask you this here. The United States is saying, and I know this question should be posed to opposition spokesperson energy Philip Paulwell. Jamaica had signed on to the Petro-Carib deal with the Venezuelans.
Yes.
And this administration has some issues with them, and some money is owed to the Venezuelan. Isn't that so?
Yes. The matter remains outstanding. As you know, the government has suspended the Petro-Carib arrangements.
Yes.
That it had with Venezuela. We also know that they had a 49% ownership of Petrojam, and that arrangement has been wound up, and it's no longer. It hasn't been operating as a minority partner in any way since then. The full resolution of that matter in terms of how the assets are dealt with and what the fair valuation of the assets and so forth is, to my recollection, still outstanding matters.
So do
you know, we say that against the background, and I'm one of those acknowledge.
Yes.
Venezuela as a country, where we are economically today, has been made possible in a substantial way by the people and government of Venezuela. That's not a secret. That's not an idea. That it is a fact. You know, there's a Chinese proverb a Chinese diplomat shared with me some years ago that has never left my mind.
Yes.
And it says, whenever you drink from the well, water from the well, never forget those who dug the well from which you drink.
True. One final question to you before I let you go, Member Jackson. There is news report, I don't know if you have seen it, where the federal authorities in the United States is saying that Caribbean politicians are linked to cocaine trafficking. As a opposition spokesperson in national security, are you aware of anybody within the Jamaican political arena involved in anything like that, sir?
I'm not aware of, but it's not to say none don't exist.
Yes.
And what I will say, to the extent that there are persons who exist, even within the People's National Party, let the law take its course.
Do you believe?
Let the law and the facts. Well, I said the law because the jurisprudence that we operate under requires guilt to be established on the basis of the law and on the facts.
Yes.
But for the facts to prevail, fairness, fair trial must prevail. You know, I'm not unmindful of the fact that in Jamaica, in the United States, in many other jurisdictions, there are many innocent persons who are behind bar. They have gone through the legal process, but they are still behind bar. They are convicted by the system. and with a system that is flawed. So while I make the statement about facing the law, implicit in that statement is for fairness and justness, if there's such a word,
Mm-hmm.
in the process for all accused persons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And none of us
Mm-hmm.
should seek to prosecute on the basis of our sentiments or own bias.
Mm-hmm.
Today, for me, tomorrow for you. The only balance is one of fairness. Balance to you, to me. If we do the crime, we must be prepared to deal with the consequence that come with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally, I don't want one innocent person to be wrongly prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as I said, we have a tendency, so long as it's them and it's removed from us, it's okay. Until when that one innocent person becomes your brother or your neighbor or your friend, then there's a crisis. And we're up in arms. What the government is going to do, what needs to be done. And I come back to what we said earlier on. I always in my deliberations in committees dealing with legislations and so forth, I've told members of the government side, we must pass law that we believe is just to us.
Yes.
And we are prepared to live with.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, for example, I'm against these mandatory minimum sentences that remove any discretion from a judge as an arbitrator. A judge is neither a prosecutor nor a defender. Is a neutral arbitrator. Look at the facts and the circumstances in every case and to render a judgment that brings balance. You can't tie the bench of the court hands in one direction even before it starts. In the context of an imperfect justice system. Look here, man. I want to have a crime-free society and a safe society, but I'm not naive.
Yes.
To believe that we're operating in a perfect or fully just system. No. And anybody who made that claim is not honest to their own self, much more to be able to honest to you or I.
Member Jackson, I have two more questions for you. I'll let you go, sir. The one about, do you think as a Jamaican citizen, how should I phrase this question? Do you think that one of these days you may hear that Americans coming inside Jamaica for the fan things about certain people?
Look, man, anything is possible in this world. Anything is possible. Undesirable,
yes,
but it's possible.
My final question to you now. What is your take on Dennis Chung removing himself from the FID pending investigation of Andrew Hona's Saturday declaration?
I've seen some clips and some interview. The whole thing is ludicrous. Dennis Chung is somebody who I know personally.
Yes.
Right? And I say publicly, I out of my own reach and knowledge of him, I'm one of those who have discouraged him when I heard the announcement in the first instance. And I discouraged him we had a long conversation about it. And I discouraged him on the basis, both for his own reputation and for the integrity of the institution. Right? Based on his pronouncements that he had made, not what was attributed to him, but what he had made. Right? And one of the foremost set of issues before the FID is the Prime Minister matter.
Yes.
Right? So it doesn't make sense to put yourself in a compromising position to start with. Now, this argument about recusing, right? Yourself, and documents come to you and you sign and don't ask any question. That's a dereliction of duty. Because as the chief executive officer, and you sign yourself, your name to any document, you are approving what is there.
But one would have think that you read the thing before you sign it.
No, you preempt me. I don't know why you choose to do that. That's exactly where I was going. I would not sign my name to anything unless one, I read it, and I saw the interview said that he doesn't read it or sign what is put before him. No, that by itself, that pronouncement, I am hoping that what I heard is not true. I'm hoping that that report was a doctor report, and that is not what the facts are. Because if it is so, it becomes an indictment. So when I heard it, I wanted to believe that I was dreaming. I wanted to believe that it's AI.
I don't think it's AI, no,
real.
remember, Jackson.
Huh?
I don't think it's AI, do you know?
Well, this is one occasion where I want to be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong. I want to say no. Here it said no. Unassert.
Yeah.
You know, for its sake, as I say, I know him personally. Won't deny that we have participated in a number of public discussions on other public matters in his area of finance and national economy. But it's a bit unfortunate. Unfortunate for everybody.
Remember, Jackson, I know you gotta run.
Yes, sir.
Your take on why the police officers refuse to wear body worn cameras but wearing face masks.
Well, that's another issue of concern. You know, I, as an elected member of parliament, as a legislator on behalf of the people of Jamaica, I can't hide my identity. When I walk on the street and persons come up to me and say, "Are you Fitz Jackson?" I can't tell them no. That would be deceptive.
Yes.
Because I'm acting on behalf of the state. Even when I'm in a private setting, I don't even have the luxury of doing that. Much more when I'm going about on a public duty. I don't have that luxury. None of us who assume public office have the luxury of hiding our identity in the open execution of our duties. You imagine me walking to Parliament with a mask over my face?
the speaker that said, member Jackson? and then Uncle Warman when I get up and say, unappointed order, Madam Speaker.
They don't know who the person is in the Parliament.
There you go.
And attempt would be made to eject me.
Yes.
No, but just reason it out. It must be on a balance.
Yes.
You're in open view conducting on behalf with the power and authority of the state behind you.
Exactly.
The state give you a firearm, a lethal weapon to act on its behalf. We know you're a legitimate agent of the state. There's a secret about that. That's the reality of it. As I say, I don't have that luxury.
Yes. Yes.
And I wouldn't try to pursue it.
Remember, Jackson, your final words to your people of this country.
Again, I'm going to end where I started. I wish for them a healthy life, everyone and their respective families, and a safer space for us to dwell in so that life as a living person can be more meaningful for them.
A 4-year
That's my
old.
wish.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Member of Parliament and Opposition Spokesperson and National Security, Member Fitz Jackson, a man who continued championing the cause for the fees to come out of the banking sector, a man who continued championing the charge for the police to wear body-worn cameras and there should be an investigation into the killing of this 4-year-old. Member of Parliament, Mr. Fitz Jackson, thanks for coming on, sir.
My pleasure. Good night.
Good night to you, sir. I want to say thanks to all of those who joined us on the Mek Wi Talk program from the Cayman Islands. That's the Cayman Mall Road. Cayman Mall Road TV station over there in the Cayman Islands. Thank you all for joining us. You know, as we come off air this evening, I was going to take calls, but I can't take any calls tonight. I'm a bit tired. I traveled over 5.5 hours. Anyway, I want to say thank you. Thank you all for being a part of this program. And as we go different ways tonight, let us call for a thorough investigation into the slaying of a 4-year-old in St. James. Until you hear my voice again, I want to say thanks to Cayman Mall Road TV. Thanks to all those who are coming on. Until you hear my voice again, I am Jeffrey Tavares saying so long. May God bless you. May God bless our island home, Jamaica land we love. Good night, everybody.
As children, we learn the true meaning of being a hero. Being a hero requires great sacrifice for others, not just ourselves. We learned about the heroes of Jamaica's past and how much of themselves and their lives they had to give in building a nation we should be proud to call home. They believed in a Jamaica that was more than just a country, more than just an island, more than land surrounded by water. They believed in a dream of a free nation of people, a nation built on the foundation of their sacrifices, a nation of many people working as one, a nation that would continue to produce legends and nation builders that serve towards that vision. As children, we were also taught the National Pledge, a solemn promise, an undertaking. I would like to believe Sir Hugh Sherlock, while writing this pledge, understood the vision and dreams of our heroes. It's clear being a hero is too much to ever ask any one citizen. Luckily, the pledge does not require heroics of any of us. It merely asks that we honor our heroes by striving to advance our nation and ultimately inspire the world, like they and many Jamaicans have done. It's important we remember those words. These words. If you are like me, a Jamaican born and raised on this land, maybe you will remember saying those words, singing that song in a classroom or some general assembly. If so, like me, you made a pledge. Somehow it seems like many of us have forgotten that. The crime and violence, the indiscipline and short-sightedness, the corruption, the lack of respect for our beautiful lands we are blessed with, and the waters that surround and nurtures us. We have to do better. Let us honor our heroes so that they would not have sacrificed so much in vain. I hope this video can make a difference to even one soul. If so, it would all be worth it. If you feel the way I do, share it. May my voice become yours. Thanks for watching.